The cold, aloof female CEO I hadn't spoken to in 10 years suddenly asked me for a loan. The moment I saw her message, I transferred every cent of my secret game skin fund without hesitation. 250 yuan and 50 cents in total. I figured Jiang Qingyue's cash flow must have truly collapsed. Otherwise, why would she think to contact me? Had this office worker gone bankrupt or been shorted? But the next second, an unfamiliar number called. This is the bank's risk control center. There is unusual activity in your account. You are suspected of laundering a huge sum of money. What? I got scammed. No, wait, I laundered money. Mr. Lin, can you confirm the source of these funds? I froze for a moment. Yes, I confirm. Then please explain what the funds were used for. I was instantly at a loss for words. I suddenly forgot what it was for. Why do I have to explain it right here? All right, he's just a little clueless. A familiar voice suddenly came from the other end. There was a trace of indulgent affection in her tone. Classmate Lin Shu, after all these years, how are you still so easy to fool? I panicked, nerves twisting tight. I had no idea what to say. You gave me your entire fortune. Your boss is not going to dock your pay, is he? Jiang Qingyue chuckled teasingly. I was speechless. Then I blurted out, then give it back. I have not even had dinner. She laughed softly. All right, I am in a board meeting. We will talk later. Before hanging up, she added, I will transfer your dividends shortly. Remember to check the tax notification. My face darkened instantly. Before I could think further, I received a text from the bank. Jiang Qingyue has transferred 50 million yuan to your account. The endless string of zeros made my eyes blur. I rubbed my eyes, then counted again carefully. Then I slapped myself hard across the face. It hurt. This was not a dream. It really was 50 million yuan. I remembered that summer 7 years ago. Jiang Qingyue had borrowed 500 yuan from me for travel expenses. She said that once she made it big, she would give me half her fortune. I thought it was just a joke. I never expected her to truly keep that promise. To her, this money might have been a drop in the bucket. But for someone like me, earning 3,500 yuan a month, an office drone who only wanted to coast through life, it was enough to retire on immediately. This huge fortune suddenly became too hot to handle. I immediately told my best friend. He called me at once. His voice was so excited it nearly cracked. So, you are that mysterious shareholder. How come you never told me? You invested in Jiang Qingyue? What shareholder? I was completely confused. My friend immediately sent me a trending financial news story. Jiang Qingyue borrows money to raise capital. I opened the livestream replay. It was from the Global Financial Summit. Jiang Qingyue and several other industry titans had been invited for a stress test. There was an interactive segment halfway through. The organizers had the big shots pretend to be bankrupt. They had to borrow money from the first person in their contacts. Jiang Qingyue immediately typed out a text. Can you lend me some money to get by? Card number 6214. Everyone laughed. Anyone willing to lend you money at a time like this? Must be some sweet, naive fool. Then Jiang Qingyue sent the text to the first contact in her phone. The contact was saved as my biggest creditor. Then a screenshot of my transfer appeared on screen. The conference hall erupted in laughter. Everyone was laughing. He really is such a lovable doofus. Someone else joked. He only lent you 250 yuan. Looks like your credit rating is not so great either. Only Jiang Qingyue's eyes quietly reddened. After all these years, how could he still be this foolish? After that came the clip of me receiving the bank's risk control call. I opened the comments. Several top comments made my scalp prickle. Who is this Lin Shu? Why is he first in my goddess's contacts? That contact name has real flair. It is commanding, yet affectionate. There is definitely a story there. The amount was 250 yuan. Could this guy be mocking her on purpose? I never imagined that one day my name would appear alongside Jiang Qingyue's in financial news. In truth, Jiang Qingyue and I had only been ordinary classmates. In school, she was a brilliant student from a poor family. I was the back row sleeping champion. We were the two biggest extremes in the classroom pecking order. She was the class discipline monitor. Whenever she collected homework, I was usually sprawled over my desk, catching up on sleep. The words she said to me most were, Lin Shu, turn in your homework. Lin Shu, turn in your homework. I would always lazily reply, take it, copy it yourself. Her face would flush as she scolded me for having no ambition, and I would lazily tip my chin at her. Do it for me, and I'll buy you spicy snack strips. Back then, she would get so angry she could not even look up at me. Head lowered, she would toss the workbook onto my desk. then turn and leave. Behind her, the boys in class would always start jeering. Why is our monitor blushing? Is Brother Shu bullying her again? I would always snap at them impatiently. Shut up. I am trying to sleep. I still had no idea why Jiang Qingyue had saved me as biggest creditor. It was not as though I was that mean. As I pondered it to myself, my friend's booming voice blasted out from the phone again. 50 million. Why have you not shoved your resignation letter in your boss's face and transformed yourself into a capitalist? Who would put up with that humiliation now? I rubbed my throbbing head. I was still completely at a loss. Just then, my phone screen lit up. It was Jiang Qingyue calling. Classmate Lin Shu. Do you have time to inspect the company today? After work, perhaps. Perfect. I could return that sudden fortune to her. All right. I will wait for you. After hanging up, she sent me an address. It was a very discreet private club. For the rest of the day, I could not focus. We were only old classmates meeting up, but she was now a business queen who commanded the industry. Somehow, I felt nervous, like I was about to be kept by a rich woman. To kill time while I slacked off, I could not help chatting with my friend again. Come on, confess, did you have some shady little deal back then? My friend's hunger for gossip was burning bright. Absolutely not. We were just ordinary classmates. I lent her 500 yuan back then. Lin Shu, you are a genius investor. You lent her a few hundred yuan back then, and now she says she is broke. You go all in with every penny from your game skin fund, and you still claim nothing is going on between you. Even Warren Buffett would not believe that. Anyway, get me an employee referral first. That is my goddess's company. Did I like Jiang Qingyue back then? I probably did. Many boys in our class had crushes on Jiang Qingyue. She was cool and aloof, almost untouchable, and fiercely determined, even though she wore school uniform faded pale from washing. During those restless school years, a girl like her was naturally the unattainable one. Her desk was always stuffed with breakfast from unknown senders. As for my feelings for Jiang Qingyue, I only ever showed it by quietly leaving her food. Back then, I was lazy to the bone. My family ran a little convenience store, and I was laid back by nature. I was just the lazy son of a family made rich by redevelopment compensation. Whenever I saw her, I was too lazy to even greet her first. Naturally, I was even less inclined to say that I liked her. Most of our interactions involved collecting and handing in homework. She collected it row by row from the front, then dropped the whole class's workbooks onto my desk. Then I would slide my lunchbox over to her. She would pull out the test paper she had done for me and slip it into my hand. Then she would coolly say, "It would be wasteful not to finish it." Then she would turn and leave. Back then, many boys heard that her family was struggling and secretly slipped money into her desk. She threw every last bit back. Only the lunch I tossed to her, claiming I did not want leftovers. Would she quietly finish, as if she were simply doing me a favor by solving my problem? School days are always beautiful and fleeting. The day the college entrance exams ended, everyone tore up their books like maniacs, trying to vent the pent-up frustration of youth. Wild roars echoed again and again below the dormitories. But in the end, I still could not be bothered to tell Jiang Qingyue I liked her. I even thought there were too many people around to ask her for a photo. It was too crowded. Our only photo together was that graduation picture. And my greatest private delight was that I happened to be standing directly behind her, eyes closed, yawning. The final scene of our youth was Jiang Qingyue coming to find me. Classmate Lin Shu, can you lend me some travel money? That was how we exchanged phone numbers. She saw that I had saved her name as Jiang Qingyue, then snatched my phone away and boldly changed it to Jiang Qingyue, the world's best at making money. I could not help laughing. She teased me. You look pretty silly when you smile. Embarrassed, I rubbed the back of my head. The corner of her lips curled up. There is an entrepreneurship competition in a nearby city. I sign up for it, but I do not have money for the ticket there or a suit. Can you lend me some money? I hurriedly pulled out my wallet and handed her all the cash inside. 500 yuan altogether. Thanks. She waved those bills in front of me. When my company goes public, I will give you half the shares. I could not help laughing again. All right. I will wait to get rich without lifting a finger. She stood in the summer sunlight, waving at me with all her strength, smiling with incredible confidence. Then she said to me, "Classmate Lin Shu, you look really handsome just lounging around. You should do it more often." That entrepreneurship competition shook the entire startup investment world that summer. Jiang Qingyue stood out among countless contestants and ultimately secured 10 million yuan in funding. In that summer of capital market madness, she truly took off. After the competition, I received a text from Jiang Qingyue. Did you see it? Congratulations. For many days afterward, we did not contact each other again. Until one early morning, I received the last text she ever sent me. I will keep your shares for you. Classmate Lin Shu. I hope you sleep peacefully. Then I hope you make a fortune. After that, we completely lost contact. But I still saw her often. In business magazines, on Forbes lists, on huge advertisements on downtown office buildings, and in the business legend people discussed on every street corner. Over the years, Jiang Qingyue's success seemed unstoppable. She became the business world's decisive, ruthless she-devil. When I saw Jiang Qingyue again, an inexplicable nervousness rose in me. She was the only guest in that enormous private dining room, though I often saw her on my phone and in the news. After so many years, having this commanding chief executive standing before me felt both familiar and intimidating. Hi, Ms. Jiang. Long time no see. I greeted her awkwardly. When she saw me, her eyes flickered in surprise. Then she smiled. You have changed a lot. You have become more laid back. Once again, I felt inexplicably nervous. You have become rich, too. She smiled warmly, raising an eyebrow slightly. You came out to have dinner alone with me. Your boss will not fire you for it, will he? No, boss. I answered awkwardly. What about a girlfriend? Her gaze held a hint of curiosity and expectation. No, I do not have a girlfriend either. I instantly felt completely embarrassed, like some unemployed drifter. So I quickly added, my salary is too low. I cannot afford to date. What a coincidence. I am too busy to date. She looked at me, her eyes smiling. What would you like to eat? My treat, anything is fine. Then bring us everything on this menu. All right. For a moment, the atmosphere felt absurdly lavish, especially in this spacious, private room with only the two of us left in it, until the waiter brought over a whole table of delicacies before me, while Jiang Qingyue had only a cup of black coffee. You are not eating? I was a little surprised. You cannot eat too much at a business meal. It affects your judgment. Your brain gets sluggish, she explained with a rather serious expression. You are already incredible. You work too hard. It is not good for your health. I had wanted to persuade her, but Jiang Qingyue turned to look at me. I do not work that hard, do I? My gaze drifted involuntarily to the thick stack of documents beside her. When I realized she had noticed where I was looking, my face instantly turned red. And no, it is just right. You cannot really tell from the news, but up close, Jiang Qingyue actually has a pretty thick head of hair. Classmate Lin Shu. My hairline is holding up just fine. Jiang Qingyue's words left me at a loss for words. I hurried to explain. I meant staying up late is bad for your health. Her cheeks faintly flushed as she looked at me. Then peel me a shrimp. My chopsticks froze midair. I was baffled. I do not know what came over me, but I somehow peeled a huge lobster and handed it to her. She simply opened her mouth and ate it. 1,000 question marks instantly filled my mind. Why did she not do it herself? Surely she was not that lazy. Or after transferring that money to me, could she no longer afford a housekeeper? No way. A CEO's signature pen can cost over 10,000 yuan. I suppressed the countless questions in my mind and steered the conversation back on track. Jiang Qingyue, I cannot accept that money. She slowly sipped the bitter coffee before her. It is your dividend. Was that not what we agreed on? That was only a joke. I never took it seriously. She looked up at me earnestly. You deserve this. You were my earliest angel investor. But I really cannot accept this money. Jiang Qingyue did not seem to want to continue this topic. She slowly raised her head and looked at me. What do you do for work now? I am a professional slacker. Her abrupt change of subject caught me off guard. For a moment, I could not keep up. I stupidly asked in return, what about you? She could not help bursting into laughter. A money-making machine. Silence filled the air. After gathering myself, I asked again, so, do you get weekends off? Suppressing her laughter, she answered seriously, no weekends off, no holidays, not even sleep. Well, capitalists have it rough too. Then, do they ever? Another stretch of awkward silence followed. I really knew how to kill a conversation. Well, actually, I am a user of your company's products. I tried to ease the awkward atmosphere. A faint smile curled her lips. How come I have never seen you buy my premium membership? Your membership is too expensive. I answered honestly. It is not just expensive. It renews automatically too. Next time, I will give you a lifetime black gold card. She gazed steadily into my eyes. Then, could you give me an autograph? I suddenly remembered the task my buddy had given me. I pulled a photo and pen from my bag. Sure, Jiang Qingyue casually took them. She signed her name with a bold flourish. Could you write something else too? Sure. What should I write? I hesitated. Then I stammered. Wishing employee Chen Zheng a speedy promotion and raise. Jiang Qingyue's smile instantly froze. Her face darkened. Who is Chen Zheng? My buddy. Is that a problem? Do not employees all call their boss daddy? I forced myself to explain. Jiang Qingyue's eyes flickered. A trace of amusement flashed in them. But do not misunderstand. I do not call my boss that, I hurriedly clarified. Why not? She pressed. Once again, I wanted to curl my toes in embarrassment. She chuckled softly, as though she understood. Then which entrepreneur do you like? Maybach, of course. I have watched so many of his product launches. Could you help me get a photo with him? Maybach had become a wildly popular national icon in recent years. He was down-to-earth and funny. And besides, he and Jiang Qingyue were widely recognized business rivals. Sure. What should I write? She raised an eyebrow at me, her tone mild. Could you write, our industry peer Maybach is the best? Is that okay? No. Why? Are you not on good terms? I probed cautiously. She gave a soft huff. Not anymore. Since when? I saw you two at a forum together just days ago. You seemed to get along quite well. I could no longer contain my curiosity. Classmate Lin Shu, did you not say you were my customer? Then what is this thing with Maybach? Who would have thought? You are a double agent. That makes me a spy. I use 3 apps a day. Does that mean I work for 80 bosses? Anyway, that meeting was painfully awkward. It was awkward beyond belief. Painfully awkward. But as I was leaving, Jiang Qingyue actually said, Classmate Lin Shu, talking with you today was relaxing. Heh. I am glad you found it relaxing. In the end, I could not hold back. I brought up the old matter again. Jiang Qingyue, you really do not have to repay so much for the money I lent you back then. This meal was expensive too. Consider that repayment enough. Give me an account number, and I will transfer the money back. My account is currently under restrictions. Just keep it for now. Jiang Qingyue answered calmly. I did the math. More than 50 million yuan. The daily interest alone exceeded my yearly salary. Comparing yourself to others really is enough to drive you mad. That is a lot of money. The interest alone would be substantial each day. How about I put it into an investment plan for you? Fine. Jiang Qingyue took out her phone and waved it at me. Should we add each other on dingtalk? I added Jiang Qingyue's private dingtalk account. It felt like a dream. But when I looked at my bank account, at that long string of very real zeros, I felt completely awake. I put the fortune into a large denomination certificate of deposit. The bank even gave me the bags of rice. The next day, while slacking off at work, I suddenly received a dingtalk message from Jiang Qingyue. Classmate Lin Shu, could you help test a game? Sure. Then she sent me a closed beta link. Some scenes were extremely violent. Some storylines were real brain teasers. When I secretly opened it at the office, I was instantly hooked. Damn, is this not the Jiang Group's new game? Where did you get such an elite account? A sharp-eyed coworker beside me caught a glimpse of my computer screen and could not help exclaiming, that gear, those stats. Let me play a couple rounds. My character was decked out in god-tier gear, wearing a golden cape. He held his head slightly high. His face was turned slightly to the side, and his username was grandiose with a touch of teenage cringe. Combined with the highest combat power on the entire server, the whole screen practically reeked of money. My impression of Jiang Qingyue had always been that of the poor academic star she was at 18. The name was still the same, but her wealth was now worlds apart. Money was shaking my resolve. Back out, back out, back out. I gritted my teeth and hit exit. How was it? Jiang Qingyue sent another dingtalk message. Pretty good, but way to grind heavy. I touched my overheating phone, then casually mentioned that huge sum of money. I put the money in the bank, in a fixed-term deposit. Let me know when your account is unfrozen, and I will transfer it back. Then, for some reason, I added one last line. They gave me the bags of rice for making the deposit. Do you want them? Could I trouble you to deliver them, classmate Lin Shu? I had only been polite. A billionaire like her actually wanted those 2 bags of rice. So later, I lugged those 2 bags of rice to Jiangjing Yihao, the priciest residential complex downtown, and delivered them to her door. There might be corporate spies outside taking photos. Sorry to trouble you. Classmate Lin Shu. She took the rice from my hands and invited me in. Make yourself at home. I looked around her apartment. It was not extravagantly lavish like on television. The decor was cool-toned and minimalist, with barely any signs of everyday life. It felt a little like a real estate sales office. Is that strange? She noticed the curiosity in my eyes. No, I just thought. Powerful chief executives like you all lived in estates with private golf courses. Why would one person need such a huge house? It would be exhausting. When you retire, you could consider one with a farm. This place is not small either. A 3-bedroom, 2-living room place is plenty, even if you use it for storage. I regretted it as soon as I said it. She was one of the richest people around. How could I judge her by ordinary standards? I pushed aside my embarrassment and waved to her. The delivery is here. I will be going now. As I said goodbye, Jiang Qingyue leaned casually against the doorframe. Her arms crossed. She tipped her chin lightly toward me. Since you are already here, work some overtime before you leave. So that was her since you are already here. Fine, I would work overtime. I just had not expected Jiang Qingyue to know how to cook. A few bowls of noodles in clear broth. She made them with practiced ease. They were on the table in no time. What is so strange about that? When I was poor, I could only cook noodles for myself. As she said it, she even looked a little nostalgic. Do rich people not all have private Michelin-starred chefs? I do not like strangers in my home. Alright, I really was not good at conversation. Or maybe the gap between our social classes was too wide. We had no common ground at all. Every conversation was like a server that had lost its connection. It disconnected almost instantly. Luckily, a call from my mom saved me. Shu, your second aunt introduced you to someone. She is an elementary school teacher. She is honest and sensible. Go meet her next Sunday. My mother's booming voice came clearly through the phone. I quickly covered my phone and whispered, Mom, I'm busy. We can talk later. No, you have to go next Sunday. At that Shaxian Snacks place near your office. I know. I hurriedly hung up, then awkwardly explained. My mom wants me to go on a blind date. Jiang Qingyue gave a quiet hum. Silently, she added a fried egg to my bowl. Classmate Lin Shu, what are you looking for in a partner? Nothing in particular, as long as she is not caught up in the rat race. I quietly took a sip of soup. It was surprisingly delicious. Then what do you think of me? Without thinking much, I casually answered, You're rich. She casually asked another question. Then how about we merge our assets? By the time I realized what she had said, a mouthful of soup caught in my throat. I choked, coughing in shock. What did you say? Jiang Qingyue stared straight at me, the corners of her lips lifting. She repeated herself with absolute seriousness. I said, Classmate Lin Shu, how about we have joint assets? I was completely stunned. My mind went blank, and my expression froze. Time seemed to stop for a few seconds. I took a deep breath, then gave a dry laugh. Don't joke like that. Lin Shu, do I look like I am joking? She kept staring directly at me, her gaze impossibly serious. We are not even in the same social class. What, are you from Mars or something? You're too rich, and too strong-willed. So being rich and strong-willed is my fault. That counts as a risk too. She spread her hands, utterly speechless. I was even more speechless. I was just a slacker drifting through life. How had I ever faced a situation like this? After a long while, I finally dared to stammer. Why me? You must have plenty of exceptional people around you. There are so many brilliant young talents in business. Besides, all those business partners linked to you in rumors over the years. If there were not 10, there were at least 8. She peeled a clove of garlic and dropped it into my bowl. Because you were willing to invest in me. That answer truly caught me off guard. 7 years ago, you gave me every cent you had. 7 years later, you put all your money into a fixed-term deposit. Jiang Qingyue analyzed this with a straight face. I do not understand other things, but anyone willing to bet big on me must truly love me. She did seem to have a point. 7 years ago, I really had secretly cared about her. But as she soared ever higher, more and more people began following her. My insignificant feelings had long since slowly buried themselves away. As for giving her money, all I could say was, maybe I just had an instinctive urge to play benefactor. Jiang Qingyue, we were just ordinary classmates. I truly did not think that much into it. And we were not even that close. I weakly tried to explain that we were not close. Jiang Qingyue suddenly leaned closer, a trace of displeasure in her voice. Classmate Lin Shu, that is a little heartless, isn't it? She pointed to the faint scar on the back of my hand. You even took a knife from me. Yet you say we are not close. I panicked, not knowing what to do. I got that scar while sharpening a pencil at school. Back then, a thug at the school gate cornered Jiang Qingyue and told everyone he would steal her scholarship money. He threw in plenty of threats as well. In a burst of anger, I charged him with my pencil sharpening knife and ended up cutting my own hand. The more a story like that spread, the worse it would be for Jiang Qingyue. The teachers kept it quiet at the time. Jiang Qingyue slowly took a bite of noodles. Then she spoke softly. I do not know how he found out. A faint smile appeared on Jiang Qingyue's face. And someone used to keep me company while I ate leftovers. I was starving like a little beggar. Who kept feeding me? I remembered the leftovers incident perfectly, because it was one of the few times Jiang Qingyue and I were alone together. Back then, the cafeteria lady was going through menopause. Her hands shook badly. There were never more than a few pieces of meat in Qingyue's bowl, but one time, she skipped getting any dishes to save money. Jiang Qingyue's lunchbox held only plain rice. Without a word, the cafeteria lady sent her off to eat at the side. Then she snarled from the serving window, if you cannot afford to eat, do not hold up the people behind you. Then, amid the noise, I walked over to, carrying a heaping serving of braised pork. It was the first time I had seen the top student so embarrassed. She kept taking tiny bites of rice in the corner, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. Hey, is it really that bad? I teased her from beside her. She ignored me and kept eating with her head down, looking at her thin, fragile back. I could only push my lunchbox toward her. Help me finish it. Even now, thinking back on it, my heart still seems to skip a beat. Later, guess what I found? My heart inexplicably fluttered. Jiang Qingyue continued. I found top-up records on your meal card. You clearly had no money left. A sly smile crossed her face. Classmate Lin Shu, you were helping me that day, were you not? She had exposed the secret I had buried deep in my heart. So, are we really not close? Those bright eyes held mine. For a moment, I was lost in them. Knowing each other this well is practically due diligence. She summed up. So, why don't we just settle for each other and take us public? My face suddenly flushed scarlet. After hesitating for a few seconds. Fine, let's do it. It is not like I am losing out. I have never dated the richest woman in the country. Jiang Qingyue reached over and gently tapped my forehead. I was shocked and flustered. Silly. Capital works in strange ways. Holding Jiang Qingyue's hand as she drove me home in her Rolls-Royce, I felt like I was dreaming the entire way. When I got home, I tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. Buddy, I have a sugar mommy now. He replied instantly. I have several rich godmothers too. Every rich woman on Forbes is my godmother. Even your high school classmate, Jiang Qingyue, is my godmother. Then another message came in. Neither of us can get a date anyway. Wait, no. Do not tell me you got yourself a sugar mommy behind my back. Spill it. Who is it? Your number one godmother. My buddy froze blankly. Then he sent a voice message that practically roared through the screen. He blurted out, holy shit. You two really did merge assets. What happened? I do not even know what to do. You are the real deal now, man. What do you mean? What do you do? That is Jiang Qingyue. Bro, what is her acquisition price? How are her assets? Jiang Qingyue burst out laughing. We have not gotten that far yet. Then get moving. Hurry up and lock her down. I cannot believe my buddy is dating the richest woman. My buddy seemed a little unhinged. From that day on, he sent the same daily greeting without fail, until I held Jiang Qingyue's hand downstairs. As she drove me home in her Rolls-Royce, I felt like I was dreaming the entire way. Have you locked Jiang Qingyue down today? I could not resist sending my buddy a dingtalk message. No, I really have not had the chance. We had only just made things official when Jiang Qingyue flew to Wall Street the next day to ring the bell. Just like that, we became a long-distance international couple. Her work hours were wildly unpredictable. It would take ages just to get a reply from her secretary, but she would call me between negotiations. Her voice tired and lazy as she told me corporate secrets. She would not stop until she had me scared out of my wits. She would also book me flights now and then, and send me all kinds of luxury gifts. I tried to refuse them, but she did not like that. Holding my phone, I stared at her name on the screen. Was this what dating was like? I started using my phone to search for news about Jiang Qingyue. Then a financial news bulletin suddenly popped up. Jiang Qingyue meets Du Ziteng. It featured a candid photo from the latest summit. In the photo, Du Ziteng was speaking. Everyone said Jiang Qingyue gave Du Ziteng a calculating look. A lot of people online were shipping him with Jiang Qingyue. The longer I looked at that photo, the more it stung. I opened dingtalk and messaged Jiang Qingyue, "When are you coming back?" She did not reply for a long time. When I felt utterly insecure, I began scrolling through her old financial reports, imagining what she might be doing right then. Was she with some financial tycoon? She had said so many strange things that day. Maybe she had been grateful to me back then. But once I calmed down, I realized that even if she had been grateful, what would that change? At 18, I had nothing and knew nothing. Who would keep thinking about someone? Besides, she was Jiang Qingyue. In my buddy's words, she was the dream woman of countless entrepreneurs. She had seen such dazzling wealth and so many shrewd elites. Why would she still think of a slacker like me? There was silence on the other end for a full minute. Maybe she had only found it amusing that day. Or something new. Maybe she just wanted to know what it felt like to rescue a poor guy. As for whether we could make it to the end, even I did not believe it. People are like that. Once your thoughts fall into a vicious loop, you keep torturing yourself. I rummaged through everything and found our graduation photo. 18-year-old Jiang Qingyue stood in front of us, smiling with bold confidence. I remembered that whenever she saw me in the hallway, she would instinctively avoid me. Maybe she instinctively felt guilty whenever she faced the person she owed. Back then, and now, I could not hold back. I posted an update on my social feed. So, in the end, we did not even have an official contract. The person who trapped me throughout my youth had never paid me a dividend. After a while, I had calmed down considerably. Then I deleted the post. I let myself wallow for a bit, then got over it. No one truly empathizes with your poverty. I opened my phone and watched a few antique appraisal clips my buddy had shared. My mood instantly improved. Shu, remember to go to Shaxian Snacks at 6 tonight. Xiao Song will be waiting for you there. My mom suddenly messaged me, reminding me about my blind date. I had completely forgotten about it. Mom, I do not want to go. No, they have already agreed to it. This girl is an elementary school teacher. She is 27 and 5'3". She is honest and sensible. Her circumstances and prospects are very stable. You will not find another one like her. Get moving and go. I gritted my teeth. Fine, I will go. If she can trade business flattery with other men, why can't I have steamed dumplings with another woman? As it turned out, all those words my mom used to describe her as so stable had been wildly exaggerated. How should I put this about Xiao Song? If she jumped, she might reach 5'3". At 27, she might have had at least as many wrinkles as my mom. She did seem honest and sensible, though. She probably weighed nearly 200 pounds. She had even specially worn business attire. The moment she sat down, she looked exactly like a stern school disciplinarian. Even more awkwardly, she complained that the vinegar at Shaxian Snacks was not authentic. Then she pulled out a bottle of vinegar she had brought herself and began arguing with the staff on the spot. I forced myself to intervene. Ms. Song, maybe let it go. She turned to me and said with righteous conviction, I have always been a woman of principle, but today, I'll make an exception for you. Mr. Lin, I have quite a good impression of you. You seem more honest in person than in your photos. Although you do not have a secure government job, I do not mind. Why don't we see where this goes? If we are compatible, we can get our marriage license. There really were all kinds of weirdos in this world. I threw down money for half the meal and stood. You're wonderful. I'm not worthy of you. Then I turned and left. To my surprise, she actually chased after me. She kept grabbing at me, and I was beyond irritated. Classmate Lin Shu, a crisp voice with a hint of authority rang out. I looked toward the sound and saw Jiang Qingyue standing beside a Maybach, waving me over. There was impatience in her voice. I felt a little guilty at once, but then I remembered she was the one flirting with someone else first. What did I have to feel guilty about? I slowly made my way over to her. She lifted her head and studied me with a probing gaze. What are you doing? I pressed my lips together and answered honestly. Blind date. She gave a cold, soft laugh. Then she reached up and pinched my cheek. Classmate Lin Shu, you're making this difficult for me, she murmured to herself, then suddenly rose on tiptoe and kissed me. I was panicked and scared. She was not even wearing sunglasses. What if a financial reporter caught this on camera? I hurriedly pushed her away gently. People are watching. My blind date beside us was already staring in utter shock. Your girlfriend looks like the richest woman in the country. Why are you even here on a blind date with me? Left with no choice, my face burning, I half dragged half-carry Jiang Qingyue into the car. What had just happened had nearly scared me half to death. Jiang Qingyue leaned into my arms, her face dark, her beautiful eyes burned with anger, still fixed intensely on my face. What does she have that I don't? I was hurt and a little angry. After thinking for a moment, I squeezed out a few words. She gets summer and winter breaks. For a moment, Jiang Qingyue was speechless with rage. Then she sneered. She looks old enough to be your aunt. I shot back without backing down. Older women know how to run a household. Her voice instantly turned icy. So, you think I can't run a household? Then she started the car. The engine gave a deep roar. I began to panic. What are you doing? Her voice was cool. We're going somewhere else to settle your accounts properly. That isn't what I meant. Then what did you mean? You have a sugar mommy, yet you still went on a blind date. A trace of coldness flashed in her eyes. You were the one publicly trading praise with another man first. I finally could not hold it in any longer. I tossed her the screenshot of that financial news report. She immediately pulled over to the side of the road. After reading it, she actually laughed out loud. Then she reached over and took my hand. Were you afraid I'd get caught in a scandal too? Her alluring, teasing voice brushed against my ear, sending a warm, ticklish shiver through me. My thoughts were already running wild. Classmate Lin Shu, if you have questions later, just read the financial reports. Do not make things up in your head. Then she unlocked her phone and pulled up a video from me. It was behind-the-scenes footage from their summit. Only then did I see clearly. Ziteng had actually been holding a piece of braised pork. Jiang Qingyue explained. They had been in meetings for hours without a break, and she was starving. She was not looking at Ziteng at all. She had been staring longingly at that piece of meat. So hungry she was practically drooling. After hearing her explanation, I could not help laughing. Ziteng and I are not close in private. A lot of those news stories were arranged by public relations to drive up the stock price. The same goes for some of those people before. A lot of the time, I do not have a choice. Jiang Qingyue explained patiently, without forgetting to tease me. Like when we lost touch 7 years ago. After I secured that funding, I signed a make or break agreement with my investors without understanding it. I did not understand anything then. The terms said I could not marry for 7 years. I had to maintain an image of being single, to make raising funds easier. So I did not dare reach out to you again. But you really never contacted me even once. A little ashamed, I lowered my head. She chuckled softly, and naturally fell into my arms. Go on, then. What other bad debts are hiding in that thick head of yours? Why did you save my contact as creditor back then? She gave me a helpless look, her eyes softening with tenderness. Then let me ask you this. Why was it that whenever I went to your desk to copy homework, the whole class would start teasing us? Why? Whenever the teacher mentioned both our names. Why did someone always snicker? Why? Jiang Qingyue helplessly stroked my face. She sighed. The whole world knew I'd latched onto you. Only you fool, did not know. She gazed at me quietly. Her eyes curved into crescents, glittering as though they held a trove of gold. At last, she spoke the confession that had come years too late. Classmate Lin Shu, I want to acquire you. I was so slow on the uptake. It might have taken light years for it to sink in. By the time I came to my senses, I could no longer tell whether I was crying or smiling. I answered through a choked voice. I want to be acquired too. Being acquired feels wonderful. Our youth had been a mutual investment all along. That day, Jiang Qingyue rented out the entire Universal Studios. She said she wanted to do everything couples do with me, to experience it all together. That night, fireworks burst brilliantly across the sky. Her eyes were filled with the sparkling starlight overhead as she looked at me. Classmate Lin Shu, if you had given me that love letter sooner, we would have gone public long ago, she said with a hint of reproach. And then she leaned closer to me and added mysteriously, I do not actually like braised pork. I knew some fool liked it. So I deliberately made you eat mine every time. After graduation, my parents opposed me starting a business. They cut off my living expenses outright. Back then, I thought, if you were willing to lend me money, I would support you for the rest of your life. Those first few years were truly exhausting. I had to attend school, pitch to investors, and work with investors to tell all kinds of convincing stories. That world was full of schemes and betrayal. Sometimes, I regretted it too. Why had I chosen this path? But in the end, I lived up to my ambition. See, without the 500 yuan you gave me back then, there would be no Zhang Group today. That day, she told me so very much. At last, I understood how this powerful woman had felt about me all these years. and I became even more certain of my own feelings. From then on, I never again doubted what we had. She was a public figure. Most of the time, we could not be like ordinary couples, going on dates and showing our affection. So our relationship was known only to my big-mouthed buddy. No one else knew. My parents were the first to notice something was up. One time, I went home for a break. I clung to my phone all day, with a silly grin plastered on my face. My dad finally could not take it anymore. He frowned at me. "What are you grinning like an idiot about? What is on that phone that has you so obsessed?" Carefully testing the waters, I said, I'm seeing someone." "What does she do? Does she have a secure government job?" My parents had typical small-town values. They had grown up within the public sector system, with an almost obsessive fixation on job security. My dad was a low-level civil servant himself, and had always wanted me to find someone from a comparable background. "She runs a business." My dad's face immediately darkened. "That will not do. She does not have a proper job. What can a business do for you?" "No, her business is quite large. She has even been on the news. That dog from our town runs a business too. He sells rat poison at markets all over the area every day. He dresses like some tacky nouveau rich. He cannot even find a wife. But she is beautiful too. Can beauty put food on the table? Women like that specialize in fooling naive young men like you. What? Can she work miracles just because she runs a business? If you marry someone without a proper job, how will you support a family on your own?" I never could have imagined it. The dream woman of countless billionaires would one day be dismissed so thoroughly by my dad. During the break, I stayed home watching funny short videos, while Jiang Qingyue worked overtime in international meetings. I happily enjoyed my rare time off. "Do you miss me?" Jiang Qingyue's gentle voice suddenly came through my phone. "Yes, I miss you. I miss you." "Then come downstairs. I am outside your building." Still in my pajamas, I raced downstairs. I swept her into my arms. "Classmate Lin Shu, if you miss me, take some initiative." With a wicked smile, she pointed to her cheek. Blushing, I slowly leaned closer. I had only meant to give her a light kiss, but she took the lead and deepened it. Just as our kiss left us dizzy, a scream like a thunderclap shattered the tender moment. Stop! I turned around, and there was my mom. What was she doing here? Even worse, my dad was marching toward us with a thunderous expression. My dad gritted his teeth and said through them word by word, "Both of you, get upstairs, now." Jiang Qingyue and I were like two teenagers caught in puppy love, standing in the living room with our heads lowered. "Hello, sir. My name is Jiang Qingyue. I was Lin Shu's classmate in high school." My dad gave her a sidelong glance, then snorted, "You certainly look shrewd enough." He paused, then added, "But it will not work if you do not have a proper job. Our family cannot accept you. And another thing, our bride price is very low." My dad's eyes shifted. "We only offer 20,000 yuan in bride price." The look on his face plainly said, "Do not even think about marrying into this family." Jiang Qingyue smiled and replied politely, "Sir, we are serious about getting married. As for the bride price, I do not need one. The money Lin Shu and I will need for marriage, I've already given him 10,000 times that." My dad's eyebrows shot up. "What? Given him what?" 52 million yuan. Ah. My dad looked as if he had heard the joke of the century. 52 million yuan, my foot. I don't even have that many coins in Happy Landlord. "Dad, it is true." I timidly cut in. Then I took out my phone, found Jiang Qingyue's Baidu encyclopedia page, and handed it to Dad. "Look, does the woman in the profile look like her?" My dad took the phone skeptically and compared it to Jiang Qingyue herself again and again. He scratched his head, then passed it to my mom. My mom leaned in and studied it for a long while too. Finally, she slapped her thigh. "That is right. It is her. She is not a scammer. You really found yourself the richest woman in the country." After the chaos died down, my dad collected himself after that emotional roller coaster. He spoke slowly, but his tone remained firm. "As for the two of you, I still do not approve. Our family is not after your money, but the gap between you is too great. Your business world is far too cutthroat. My son is too innocent. If he is with you, she'll take advantage of him until there's nothing left." Jiang Qingyue tightened her grip on my hand. Calm and composed, she explained, "Sir, Lin Shu and I have supported each other for many years. This is not a spur-of-the-moment decision. I have made some money over the years. After we marry, I plan to accompany him as he does what he loves. Please rest assured, I will provide for him well." My dad said nothing more. As Jiang Qingyue headed downstairs, I could not hold it in any longer. I asked her, "You really want to get married?" She looked at me as if the answer were obvious. "What else? Do you not want to make it official with me?" I was speechless. But on reflection, she was at the height of her career, and one of the most watched entrepreneurs in the world. If she married now, would we have to keep it secret, or what? In the end, I did not ask. Instead, I quietly took the ring I had been clutching in my palm, the diamond ring I had planned to propose with, and slipped it back into my pocket. Yet she seemed to see straight through me. She gently leaned against my arm. "Leave it all to me." She pulled an invitation from her pocket and pressed it into my hand. "As promised, come to my launch event." Classmate Lin Shu. I knew she had been preparing for an initial public offering. Countless people had been eagerly awaiting it. I had asked her what the company code would be, but she always kept it a secret. Not until the day of the opening bell did I see the trending topic: Jiang Qingyue. Company code 5,201,314, meaning "I love you forever." That day, she made a social media post. "Who says we do not have a photo of just the two of us? I was watching you from somewhere you never saw." She attached a selfie of herself in her school uniform, smiling as she held the lunchbox. And in the background, there was someone asleep with his head on a desk. That was me. She also sent me a private message. "Classmate Lin Shu, our meeting was never an accident. I had been plotting all along to latch onto you." I looked at 18-year-old Jiang Qingyue and 18-year-old me in that photo. As I smiled, tears began to fall. How wonderful. My investment had been paying off all along. Jiang Qingyue's global launch event was held in the largest stadium. That day, the crowd was immense, with applause and cheers rising one after another. I sat in the front row, smiling as I listened to her lay out one grand business vision after another. The final segment was for a major announcement. When her speech ended, she stood at center stage and slowly said, "Thank you for coming to my launch event." The stadium erupted in thunderous applause. "I built this company for my boyfriend." She openly looked straight in my direction. Her eyes brimmed with unwavering resolve. "Back then, he lent me 500 yuan. That was how I could afford a suit for the competition. Only then did the Jiang Qingyue of today come to be. After 7 years of fighting my way through the business world, thank you for always supporting my products. But today is my final launch event. I hereby announce that, starting today, I will formally step down as Chief Executive Officer." The entire venue erupted in uproar. No one could have imagined why Jiang Qingyue would retire at the peak of her career. She refused every media interview, then grabbed me backstage and ran straight out through the staff exit. My mind was still reeling from her retirement announcement, and I did not notice where she was taking me. "Qingyue, why?" "There are many reasons." She spoke as we ran. "For one, I do not want making money to be my career. I do not want to be so busy I cannot even eat a proper meal. I do not want everything I or those around me say and do constantly weaponized to short our stock. And more than anything, I do not want my boyfriend, whenever he has time off, to only be able to sneak over to my place. I want us to be like any ordinary couple, to go shopping together, buy groceries, travel, and do anything we want, without giving me a chance to object." She held my hand and kept running. At last, we were both breathless with exhaustion when we stopped at a familiar place. "Classmate Lin Shu, do you remember this place?" She had brought me back to our old school, to the little path beside the cafeteria. This was the path where I used to pretend, every day, to run into her by chance. It was also where, on graduation day, she changed her contact name in my phone to Jiang Qingyue, the best moneymaker in the world. It was the very place where she changed it. Whenever I ran into her, I would instinctively laugh it off, too afraid to meet her eyes. Yet every day, I came here at 7 to wait. I waited for 7:10, for her figure to appear at the other end of the path. I waited for her for years. I lowered my head, and she turned back, looking at her before me. I finally dropped to one knee. From my pocket, I took out the diamond ring I had prepared long ago. "For 7 years, I thought I would miss my chance with you for the rest of my life. But when you once again appeared in my life, I made up my mind. I had to win back the woman who bankrolled me. I want to marry you. Classmate Qingyue, let us get married." Her eyes curved with her smile, glistening with tears. At last, she could not help crying like a child. "You fool." "Yes, I will." I carefully slipped the ring onto her finger and smiled with joy. Just then, from the school's broadcast station, her startup speech suddenly began playing. Its final sentence rang clearly through the evening breeze. You were the venture capital of my youth. I am the enormous return on your choice to